into game number 2 after Kev showed us a really good game number 1.
Yeah, excellent game. So once again, we have the purple Zerg. It's from Team TDG. It's Masterz against from Team Druids. It's Kev, the red Terran in the top right.
Yeah, last game was hectic, but it was very close, and this series could
Yeah,
go either way once again, and that just adds up to the amazing games we've seen already in the first DVT series.
yeah. I think that Masterz did a really good job at transitioning out of that somewhat failed rush at the start. You could say like, oh, you should have just gone for it. Just bust that bunker. But it's really not that easy, especially when your roach count has already been dwindled by widow mines that significantly.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to see if these guys go for a similar build they did last game, or gonna transition out of it. Of course, Cloud Kingdom for Muta still decent, but I think that it would favor the more ground-based army, to be
Yeah,
honest.
I would see like to see Kev go mech on this. I think mech is just an excellent composition to do on this on this map. We don't see an early gas from him yet though. Might add on that rather quickly and go for a Reaper opening. There we go. He's gonna throw down that refinery as soon as he can afford it. And yeah, of course the Zerg has every option you wanted. He could go again for a bit of a roach bust, which can be rather effective on this map, or do that speedling timing, or just play economically.
Yeah, but I was wondering what the drone was doing on the map, but it was actually scouting for any proxy barracks,
Yeah,
proxy 2 gate, maybe a 888 Reaper harassment. He knows that's not coming, so he's going to feel a little bit secure, throw down the hatchery first once again, and it looks like Kev also going for an opener that looks very much like the last one. Could see a Reaper poking in, trying to get some scouting information and dealing some damage. The drone is going to scout it out though, wants to see that Reaper popping out.
yep. Bit more greedy opener here by Masters, going for that 15 hatch into 16 pull. Probably gonna try and be a lot more economic than he was in the previous game. And yeah, you were correct in assuming that proxying is quite common on this map, especially in Wings of Liberty. I loved doing a proxy barracks and making early Reapers, and then walling off the natural with 3 bunkers, and just have that massive versus building damage output of Reapers just destroy the natural.
Yep, and
But it
that's one
doesn't
of the
have
things
work anymore.
you could still see on this map, of course. It's not in the map pool anymore, but when you get a tournament and you get to play it, you can use all of those cheesy old builds. That's one of the cool things about that. If you ever have some time, try to play some of the actual early game maps, and you'll have like all kinds of crazy
Yeah.
strategies to do.
Yeah, so Kev's Reaper is now moving into natural, gonna spot that. We do have 2 queens on the way for Masters and 4 lings, which he is kind of forced to make because his spawning pool was of course a bit later than when you would normally go for forge pool. Nice move there with the drone saving at the last possible point by going building it into an extractor.
Yep, drones becoming all kinds of buildings they weren't expected to build with the Reapers in HUD so far. It's actually quite funny to see. Sometimes you'll see like 4 Reapers, and all of a sudden you see 4 spines coming down, being cancelled, extractors up next, and it does of course save the drone, which is more expensive than a cancel on an extractor.
Yep. Yeah, Roach War once again actually being thrown down, and I wonder if Kev is gonna scout it. Probably not. This queen here doing a good job of zoning these Reapers out of his main base. So it is going to go undetected for now. And yeah, this is, we once again have that early third command center go up here for Kev. So he's going to go and do the exact same build which he was last game. And the question is he going to make Hellions? Or is he going to go into Widow Mines at the right time?
Yep, Roaches once again, and Kev once again being as greedy as Kev is apparently. Because 3 command centers, these roaches theoretically should do a lot of damage. It's a smaller map this time, so it's gonna be very annoying for Kev to hold. He is gonna throw down a bunker though. The Overlord did scout what was at the front of the base, didn't see a lot happening, and I think Widow Mines would be the call, and there's 2 Widow Mines coming out.
Oh, it's such a smart move. He didn't even scout it, anything or any actual indication of this going to happen. We do have a tech lab being added onto the barracks, and I'm curious to see if he's going to add on another Marauder or just going to go into marine production.
Yeah, now one of the things he could do, Masters that is, is use the Overlord to tank some of the Widow Mine shots that's already in position there. That would be a very good move. The Widow Mines popping out right now. Is the Overlord going to spot the Widow Mines? Not yet. And the Reaper will go into the bunker, but not doing that much damage. The Widow Mines are being spotted by the Overlord. If he can fly it over there, the Overlord will die, but the 2 shots will be completely useless. And the Reapers in the bunker won't shoot the Overlord either. He's gonna move in 1 Roach. Yep.
Yeah, he's gonna sacrifice probably a Ling this time. It might get taken out by the Marines though. Nope, it's gonna get taken out, and now he's gonna go for that bust. Auto repair already on these SCVs, gonna try and repair. Oh, he's actually gonna ignore the bunker, just kill these SCVs. Not more Widow Mines are moving in. Finally getting that repair off, but can he actually sustain the DPS, which is being done by these Roaches? One of the actually the bunker's still up, being repaired quite successfully, and one of the middle mines has now finished and it's gonna go off cooldown. And we might see this bunker go down. Is it gonna... No, it's not. Nope. It's gonna live.
It's gonna live, but he did take a lot of economic damage in the process, though. He lost a lot of workers.
Yeah.
If you check the unit stat right now, he only has 24 workers left, so that's not that much early game. He's going for this really greedy build, but it is being punished a little bit by Masterz. On the other hand, we do see a 3rd base coming down, but it's also delayed because of those Roaches, of course. Keep in mind, he did lose all of those Roaches, though, so any kind of counter pressure could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, the big difference between what we saw in this game and the previous one is, of course, the fact that he did lose the Roaches, but Kev also lost a lot of SCVs. Good for Kev, though, is that he has 3 orbital commands, so he will be able to catch up in the worker count, pretty rapidly.
Yep, we're gonna see some annoying Widow Mines moving out. I like what he's doing here. He's actually using the Reapers to scout the path for the Widow Mines, and he will find a building here, and Widow Mines cannot attack that, but he could send up a defensive perimeter with those Widow Mines.
Yeah, he's gonna do just that. Looking at the units count, I already see that Masterz only has 43 drones. So while that battle was going on, his link production was actually, or his drone production was actually hampered quite a lot. Widow Mines taking out so many links, but this force of Kev is gonna get cleaned up. But there's still a lot of Widow Mines here, which could be, quite annoying.
Could be very annoying indeed, and. Yeah, there is an Overseer, however, so these links are gonna attack it, but one of these Widow Mines might get off of cooldown. Yep, there we go, one gets off of cooldown, the other one as well could even take down the Overseer if he keeps...
he's gonna sit out of range nicely, and Kev is gonna lose these Widow Mines, something he's not gonna be too happy about, because those are expensive units at this stage in the game.
Yep, in this stage of the game they are quite expensive. They are, on the other hand, as expensive as Roaches, and he only had 6 or 8 Widow Mines, if I remember correctly. If we go to the units lost right now, we will see it's quite even, which is a good trade for the Terran player because his 3rd command center was up earlier. So I think Kev is in a good position so far.
Yeah, I think he's in a fine position, taking his 3rd. Really, doing that. He's just constantly producing SCVs. Of course, Masterz is doing the same with drones, but I don't feel that Kev is necessarily behind. Even though his army is not as interpretive, as strong. He's getting good upgrades still. It's a bit later than the previous game, but that's as to be expected. However, we do see that the Spire timing might actually be quite scary.
Yep, same as last game, only this game Kev hasn't scanned it yet, so he doesn't know what's going on right now. Last game he actually had a perfect scout. He scanned the Spire as it was going up, but the build from Masterz is exactly like last game so far. Some links are poking into the 3rd base and killing 1 SCV, just being a little bit annoying, delaying that bunker. Not a huge loss from either player, to be honest. A Widow Mine also buried between those 2 bases could be annoying for the Mutas later on. This Overlord still sees a lot of things going on between the 2 bases, actually.
Yeah. Interesting to notice, of course, that if Kev had managed to save those Widow Mines, they would have been of a lot of use at this stage, at this point in the game, because they are just so powerful against Mutas. If the Zerg doesn't have any detection.
Yep, they are. And the 4th base already being constructed by Masterz right now, and yep, that's gonna be a good position if we can do some damage with these Mutas, and they're going into the natural and already chaos in the worker line.
Yeah, he does pull out these SCVs quite nicely in time, but does throw away these Marines, which are not all that effective. And actually, if we look at the units count, there's only 13 Marines right now, so he's gonna have to do this with what he has, which is not a lot. A couple of Widow Mines, a couple of SCV Marines. No medevacs yet on the... Oh, there they just popped out, of course. Oh, is that going to be a hit? No, middle mines don't manage to really do anything against these mutas, and these mutas currently really out microing this flock of small ball of marines.
Yep, and even more SCVs just
Oh, why is he
handing
moving them back?
themselves over. He was thinking he was going to clear that up, and then he was going to mine again. Nope, he's just going to, you know, lose all of them SCVs. The turret being cancelled as well, and these marines taken down. And this is a really, really bad position all of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, he was still in a pretty solid position. He could have handled this quite well. It will actually have a big run by here coming up into the third, but doesn't do too much damage. And yeah, Kev suddenly in a lot worse position than he wanted to be. 66 drones against 46 SCVs, and Masterz looks like he's just going to keep pouring on the pressure.
Yep, not a lot left for Kev here in the unit department. Masterz did get supply blocks, so he probably lost like an overseer. These links being ever so annoying at the third base. Yeah, Kev just can't move out right now. 3 base is okay for Terran against the 4 base Zerg, but he has to get his economy back. He has to get some units out to really defend against these units, against these links, and everything's just going into the third base, and these marines might get taken out by the mutas. Yep, it looks like it. And there's more marines coming in to reinforce. 1-1 upgrades on them against 0-1 of the muta. Will be able to force that back a little bit, but if more Zerglings come in the fray, and Baneling nest in construction as well.
Yeah, more Zerglings on the way, as you mentioned. Finally, 2-2 underway for Kev, which you would normally say, well, that's too late. But keep in mind that Masterz actually didn't get 1-1 upgrades at all on his links either, so they are not as powerful as he really wanted to be.
And once again, the mutas go in, and the SCVs are there to defend. It's not the position you want to be in, but he's done it twice now, and losing a lot of SCVs in the process. Links are already gathering outside of the third base, and I think we might see some Banelings among them.
Yeah, we might very well, and Kevin positioning his bio in between both bases so he can respond adequately to pressure from both sides, and catching this force before it moves in. Well, actually, is Masterz gonna fight this? This is not a very good engagement because he doesn't have the upgrades which you need on his links. Loses quite a lot of them. Well, very good engagement there for Kev.
Really good engagement for Kev actually. It was looking so good for Masterz. It still is actually. But that makes it a little bit closer for Kev, and it gives him a fighting chance. 4 base already established, and he needs to get that up somewhere. But first he needs to get back the SCV count after he lost so many SCVs.
Yeah, absolutely. He does have a 4th orbital at this point, so he has even more mules and even more capacity to produce SCVs. He's currently, though, once again supply block, which is not the first time I've seen him do that in these series. And he's actually moved out onto the map quite a bit now.
Yep, it looks like Kev is getting a little bit confident here, moving across the map, getting some map control back. And these mutas are, they have the potential to do a lot of damage, and are moving into the third base right now. Kev is way out of position, and I don't think these few marines are going to defend.
Well, they actually do a pretty decent job. At 1-1, these mutas do have 2-0 attack upgrades, and they do get chased back. And we now have this bio ball here by Kev moving in. A lot of Baneling throw, but without speed, and Kev is going to have to split.
Yep, that's a good split, but there's so many Banelings. These will be taken down quite easily here.
Barely take this engagement, but then the mutas swoop in, and he's just going to be forced to evacuate and going to lose maybe even all of these medevacs. Yeah, he does. Wow, that's really a tragedy here for the Terran. Oh, big muta getting hit here with the Widow Mine, but not something you want to have happen as a Terran.
Nope, you don't want that to happen in any position you're in. It's gonna add another command center because why not? They're really good. But it's starting to look a little bit grim. I mean, he's still on 3 bases, he's still being contained. 5th base in the process, already being taken by Masterz. These Banelings are gonna get cancelled though. Links surrounding the bio forces, and the mutas already flying in quite convincingly. Some mines in the back though could get some huge hits. Yeah.
We do get some good hits from the Widow Mines, but not the thing that Kev really wanted to ideally. More links even on the way. Yeah, Masterz just really pouring on the pressure. I do feel that Kev is somewhat stabilized, but it looks like Masterz has almost finished his hive. So he's going to transition at some point.
Yep, he should transition eventually. He's been on this Baneling flock for a long time. He is upgrading them quite good though, but the bio forces have been able to hold it off so far. But I don't see Kev taking an extra base in the position he is in right now. We see him moving out. The Widow Mines throwing in a good position, but get taken out before they get a shot up. The mutas flying over the armies, but they getting some decent hits up. But looks like Kev is just being overpowered here.
Oh wow, Kev's army really not taking the best engagement, which you should. You really need to protect those widow mines if they don't have the burrow time engagement. We do see a nice drop here on the left side with a lot of marines. Might even be able to take down this hatchery, and yeah, that's actually going to force Masterz to back off. So.
Yeah.
Good position from Kev to decide to move a lot of his SCVs back to his natural because it was heavily undersaturated and his herd was heavily oversaturated. And yes, this drop is going to get cleaned out here. So Kev does have a bit of breathing room, but you know he still hasn't managed to secure a fourth, and his army is looking just so small. And if we look at the bank of Masterz, he's just in such a commanding lead.
Yep, he's also adding an Ultralisk Cavern, and you know what? Greater Spire as well. He just wants to get one of everything. And he can transition so easily out of air and ground that it's going to be very hard for just the Bioforces to defend this actually for Kev in this position. Now these players have everything to fight for because they're also in the losers bracket. So whoever loses this series will be out. It's looking like this could go into a 1-1, but Kev doesn't want to give up. However, getting the burrow upgrade for the Widow Mines will make them burrow a lot faster and be very useful even against Brute Lords actually.
Yes, and now we have Masterz finally moving into Zerg Tech Tier 3 with Infestors, Ultralisks, and even a Greater Spire all the way at the same time underway. He's sitting comfortably though at 82 drones on 6 bases and still mining gas off of all of those, so he's feeling quite confident really.
Yeah, quite confident indeed, and we do see it looks like Masterz wants to poke in a little bit. Nope, decides not to anyway. Oh no, he decides to. Yep, he decides to. Yeah, there we go. Widow Mines are gonna get a good shot off. Yep, they do.
Yes, somewhat of a good, of a good shot. He does need a few more Widow Mines, I feel, in order to really do the damage which he needs. Speaking of doing damage, Kev's really realizes that he needs to go for another drop. Infestors here with Leering. Maybe see if they can get a couple good fungals on these Marines.
Yep, indeed, as I was watching an egg spawn into an Ultralisk, but that's not as exciting as this is. Look at those bailing hits with the Infestors doing so much damage, keeping them in place, and that's really what they're used for. The planetary is now under fire, and these Ultras doing a lot of damage to it.
Yeah, these planetary are actually being repaired nicely, but it doesn't matter, it goes down again. There's just not enough bio here by Kev, even though he's doing a great job of taking down yet another base of Masterz. If he had split that drop off, it might actually been even more effective. But the battle at the front where it all really matters, just looks like where Kev's not going to win. He's going to stim into the third of Masterz, might even take down his hatchery as well. Doing economic damage, but his own economy is even in a worse state.
Yep, he's winning the small fights, but he's losing the fight that matters. I think that's telling a tale of this game so far. He's also going to go ahead and drop into the main base. Now if he can pick up the Ultralisk Cavern and the tech structures, which are actually all positioned right next to each other, that would be a good call, but I think Masterz should be able to get some units over here fast enough. One Ultra might even be enough.
Yep. We do see the spawning pool being taken down though, so at this point Masterz can't make any more Zerglings, which is kind of annoying. He's gonna have to remake that. Actually gonna crash into the fourth with a bunch of Ultras and Links, but the Bioforce from Kev there is just a little bit too strong. A couple of Marines now opening fire on the hatchery of the fourth of Masterz, and we once again see Kev with some very effective drop play because this Marine force in the main is still there.
Yep, some new units, the same units landing in the main that were evacuated earlier, also putting some pressure onto the, I don't know which base, but one of the many bases of Masterz in the middle of the map. And yep, this is what he has to do. He has to keep in the game. His supply is actually still quite impressive. He's still making a lot of bio units. They are almost fully upgraded. So he can still make something happen, and he's trying his best to be as annoying as possible, and that's really what you want with also character.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the drop in the main is still somewhat ongoing. Picks it up once again and now departs for another base. I feel if he would go for another drop at this base, or at least try to take down the fourth, it could be so effective. And there he goes, picks up a bunch of army, and just heads there as soon as he can.
Yep, gonna try and poke in there. The hatchery already took a lot of damage. There are 2 spines, but 2 spines can only defend so much. And they're gonna do a good job picking off these units a little bit, and the hatchery might not actually go down with these.
He's gonna focus it though. Oh, it gets taken down with the Banex, and it's a Pines with 25 HP. Such a sour move here for Kev, who really wanted to take down this hatchery, and if he just focused it straight away and picked up, it would have been fine. Meanwhile, he's actually dropping at the fourth, and he does get a somewhat successful pick off going there. Now he's gonna head straight into, well, no man's land actually, because these medevacs are just kind of hanging.
Yep, you see a hit squad being landed at the top side right now. They are, I think, just gonna go ahead, poke the hatchery and run
Yeah.
as fast as they can after that, and that's a really good idea. The medevac in the right side gets picked up, but this hatchery will fall, so will the spine crawler and a few of those drones trying to desperately get those Vesipine geysers back to the hatchery. Already Masterz moving all of his army over there, but so far Kev has been doing a really good job of keeping Masterz really good.
Yeah, and I was thinking that as I saw the Widow Mines, what would be really cute if you just moved in one Widow Mine there and boom, there it goes. Takes out a couple links and bandings, and it's gonna prevent. Oh wait, did he have detection there? Because the Widow Mine actually died. I'm not sure how it happened.
Yep, the Widow Mine did get
Oh,
taken
okay.
out.
Masterz has had enough. He's just gonna go in. Well, big stim here by Kev. He needs to split more accordingly. Doing a good job actually, but still losing so much bio. Not really seeming to be prepared as much as you should have. Fungal Snow landing on his bio, taking a lot of damage. Now Planetary tanking a lot of his ultras, being repaired slowly. Wow, it looks like Masterz just decided, like, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna kill you right here, and it looks like it's just exactly what he's gonna do.
Yep, it's like beating someone with a stick over and over again, and eventually he will say, I've had enough, and just go ahead and take it all out. And that's just what's happening right here, and it looks like Masterz is going to take ahead and take this game into a 1-1, because
Yeah,
I don't see Kev coming back.
He's just really fighting valiantly. Also, it's kind of being blocked by the links though, and they are kind of falling, but this link remax which we are seeing is just really overwhelming the bio of Kev. A shame, I thought he was really on the way to a good comeback. He still has a Marauder fighting at the 4th base of Masterz, but you know, this whole full frontal assault is just too much for him to deal with.
Yep, the Marauder and his private medevac are doing a good job down there, but he has lost everything in his main base. And I don't think, there's always a point in a game where, you know, I can't come back, and I think that's the point where Kev is finding himself in right now. He is still, like you said, valiantly trying to hold it off with a bunker even, and some bio forces, and surprisingly at the 30-minute mark he still has resources that is natural.
Yeah, he does, surprisingly enough, so he's still able to mine from there, but he's probably going to dump a whole lot of mules at the bases trying to land his orbital command up, but it's not going to work because there's a link burrow there. Widow Mine's doing a nice bit of damage to these links and investors, but it's not going to be enough. However, this small bioforce here is actually going to take out two investors.
Yep, 2 investors did get taken down. That's a good hit for Kev, but it doesn't take away that he's just not mining enough right now. If he could land that orbital, he could still get some income from the mules, but that one Zergling is making all the difference right there for him.
Another ultra is falling. Kev really not wanting to give up, even though he hasn't even been able to land that orbital at a good place. And I think this Ling Ultra Force here is really going to be the death of Kev. He doesn't manage to put up the supply depot wall. He's going to have to kite up, back up. He picks up a bunch of his army, and I don't see him lasting on for much longer.
Nope, I don't either, and it looks like he's even thrown down some infested Terrans, which are completely useless against 3-3 upgraded bio forces, but still,
Yes.
it looks like it's all over for
Yeah.
Kev in this game, and it will go down to 1-1 once he decides.
I really have to commend this Valiant Aventador. Look at how he's microing now, putting all of his bio in a choke like that. But there we finally go. GG, well played. Really nice play here by Kev, but it just wasn't enough.